Hey guys, Shai here, and I want to talk about the Witcher Netflix TV series because let's just say it's one of the better things to come out of Netflix. Now, I spent like 2 days watching the whole thing in one freaking go, and it kind of blew my mind. I guess one of the first things I want to talk about is just the visuals. The production value that went into this is actually amazing. Like the environments, to the costumes, to the special effects, everything was so believable and very immersive. Just like when you see the magic being done in this show, it's not like magic that you would see in Merlin or something. Nothing low budget at all. And of course you would expect it not to be since it's being produced by Netflix. The one thing that I would say that kind of threw me off a little bit was the CGI and some of the creatures that are in the show. But for the most part, it's pretty good. Like at some point during the show, if you watch it, you're gonna see a creature and it's gonna look CGI and it's gonna look out of place, and it's it's quite obvious. But other than that, everything else was pretty good. One thing that kind of bothered me were the eyes. Sometimes you can see like the graphics on the eyes, like they would just be contacts and it's very noticeable. And then I believe what they did for some of the scenes was they actually changed their eyes with CGI. And that actually looks really good because it makes it seem like their eyes are actually that color. Now, the one that you especially notice the contacts a lot in is Geralt. But that's mainly because there's a lot of close-up scenes and he's one of the main characters. As someone who has the Witcher games, and although I didn't really play them all that much, I do appreciate the accuracy that they've gotten these characters to, especially with Geralt and Yennefer. So I guess my next point would have to be about the overall story of the show. And this is going to be my biggest gripe about it, but there is a point in the show where the timeline of the show doesn't become clear, and it seems like the director left that up to context clues, but the audience wasn't given any indication on to what time this specific scene takes place. So it left it left me pretty confused, and I wanted to be sure into what was happening. So I kind of had to rewind, and it was like, okay, this is happening at this specific time. But other than that, the story was pretty coherent. We knew what was going on during the entire show, aside from the weird I wouldn't say time skips, more like flashbacks. Henry Cavill's performance is absolutely amazing. He is a believable Geralt. The whole time I was watching it, it felt as though this man is Geralt. In and out, he has the voice down. And another thing that really lets me appreciate this show is the combat. The first scene that you see Geralt just going off on dudes, and I believe they showed it in the trailer, but not to the extent that you see in the show. It's honestly one of the most satisfying things that you see, especially every time when you see Geralt fighting something. It's just amazing. And of course, Geralt isn't the only one that's fighting in this show. There's other characters that do amazing things as well, other interesting characters. I do wish that they would have expanded more on certain characters that are kind of just mentioned quickly and then kind of brushed aside. But I feel like they're saving them for the next season, so then we can see what they're really capable of. I'm trying to keep this review or my initial thoughts on watching it as spoiler free as possible, so it's kind of hard. But yeah, all the actors and actresses, they do a believable job, and they actually make you feel as if they are those characters. And I think that is the main takeaway from this first season. Like, you can feel that these characters are those characters and they have an impact. And I think that's about all my initial thoughts so far. I can't wait for a season 2 because this season has started off so good, and I feel as though it can only get better from here, and we don't want it. The last thing I would want to see is basically the Last Jedi happening, and I don't think it would go in that direction because they have a lot of material to work with. They have the books and the video games, and it seems like whoever the writers are for the TV show, they know what they're doing. So for season 1, I'd give it about an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. What do you listen to me for? You should be watching it. Well, guys, if you liked the video and you want to see other content similar to this, make sure to drop a comment in the description. And later.